Bit of silence.
There's no countdown, is there?
No,
Yeah,
it
was there.
No.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Football Group Chat. I'm your host, James, aka Udo's Football, and today we'll be discussing United's woes and Erik ten Hag, how long before he goes. Also, we'll be talking about the game at the Lane, 2 red cards and an own goal. You know what these referees are getting in their Christmas stockings, boys?
Cole. Nice.
Joining me today are the
Love
usual
it.
guests,
Welcome,
Stills.
mate.
Joining me today are the usual guests, Stills, Footy Rambles, and Curtis Pay.
Hello, mate. That was brilliant, by the way. Well done.
That was superb, James. Actually,
I'm happy
I'd say
with that.
superb.
Get you on Skyline.
Thank you. Also, we have ourselves a special guest. He's Ireland's #1 Liverpool fan, outspoken but never broken, and you know what? An all-round legend. It's Jonathan Morley.
Thank you, James.
We're clapping for everyone now.
I appreciate that intro very much. Cheers, boys.
No worries. Jonathan, I'll start with you, to be honest. You're a Liverpool fan. I just want your quick opinion. We'll go into the incidents in a second. I just want your opinion on the Liverpool-Tottenham game in general. What do you think of it? How did Liverpool play?
If we're talking about the game, I mean, I was happy. We should have got at least a point out of it. Everything that happened in the game, a point would have felt like 3 points in that game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't really criticize any player. Maybe Jota. I don't think the Jones one was a red card. I thought Jones was fairly okay before he seen red. Maybe Jota's maybe the only player, but that first yellow card is ridiculous. So I can't fault any of our players. I thought they were all absolutely excellent. It was an absolutely massive shift. Even the players that came on, even Klopp emptying the bench. So I thought it was a really, really good performance from Liverpool. And it's funny where we lost the game, but I think we came out looking like the better team, the much better team, the clearly better team. And that's a very rare thing in football. But yeah.
Yeah, it's actually quite nice to see Liverpool. We have the monster mentality. We go down. It's almost like a siege mentality, actually. And we will fight for everyone else. And you saw with Darwin Núñez at the end of the game with the Liverpool fans, he was like bumping the badge. He was like buzzing. He's like, mate, we've lost 2-1, but I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Let's start with the red cards. Curtis, Dale, Jonathan, you can all jump in on this. Is that Curtis Jones red card a red card? I think that is super harsh, but I kind of get in the VAR days why it's given.
Yeah, it's not a red card, is it, man? I think so many people on Twitter and everywhere else have been looking at the still image of Jones's foot on Basuma's ankle, and yeah, it looks nasty. It can hurt him, and it can be a bad challenge. But when you're looking at it in context of the fact that he's gone over the ball, and literally one frame prior to that, his foot is on top of the ball, you see there's no intent there, and he was sent off for serious foul play, which that's not what it was. I think if you're looking at it black and white and how the challenge has resulted, which is a bad challenge on Basuma, you can justify it being a red card. But you need to take context into stuff like this, don't you? And realise that he's gone for the ball. It was a slippery surface. His foot's gone over the top of it. He's not meant to do that at all. So, yeah, I just think it's daft. But I'm not surprised anymore because the referee goes to the screen and they're just showing him the still images. What do you expect him to do?
No.
I think I'll probably be the only one on here. I do think it was a red. I can see exactly your point. I get what you mean, and I think that the picture of the still image of him going into Basuma's shin does look a lot worse, and I get that. I just think this, like you said, this day and age, you just can't get away with that. As soon as you make contact with your studs into a player's shin, whether you mean it or not, the referee is going to give that as a red because you are endangering a player. If he goes with a bit more force than he did, and Basuma's leg is a bit more planted, he could break his leg. I'm not saying I know he didn't mean it because I know he goes over the ball, and I'm not saying it's a horrendous tackle. I just think personally that in today's game you can't go. I know he goes for the ball. I just think in today's game you can't go into a tackle with his foot at that angle over the top of the ball because it will endanger a player, and I think that's why it's been given.
Jonathan, you agree with that?
Obviously not, but no, I respect everybody's opinion. But look, to be honest, I think we need to put emphasis on what's intentional and what's accidental. I mean, it's a contact sport. It's as simple as that, isn't it? And the fact is, there will be a lot of accidental things to happen in 90 minutes. You know, maybe somebody gets injured or somebody slips or tackles a player badly or something like that. And we have to know where's the line. Like, granted, I remember years ago, Sadio Mane, when we were playing against Manchester City, he went in for a high ball. He caught Ederson. That's a red card, because that is seriously dangerous. It's accidentally, yes, but at the same time, he has his foot up there. Do you know what I mean? Curtis Jones has his foot on the ball. He has his foot literally inches above ground. His foot, the reality, slips off the ball. As I think you said there, James, and Dylan, like, when you see that slowly, when you see that in still images, you're going to be like, oh, that's a red card. But the fact is that, you know, it's completely accidental. Curtis Jones is not doing anything dangerous there. The only thing that makes that dangerous is when you look at that still image afterwards. That's the only thing. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. We're basically encouraging footballers to not even go into tackles anymore. It's as simple as that for me.
Yeah, I do tend to agree. The way I look at it, how he's gone in for the challenge, it's actually a really safe challenge. But what's happened is when who did he foul on? Basuma.
Basuma,
He goes in with Basuma, and they connect with the ball pretty much at the same time. And Jones's foot just ricochets with the power of the ball over it. Now, to me, fair enough, that looks horrible.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's not gone with any reckless intent, and there's not much he can do about it, which I find so, like, harsh. I feel because the actual challenge isn't intentionally dangerous. It's not dangerous in the slightest. It's physics, essentially, that's cost him.
Yeah.
I think it's the same one. Gusto got sent off last week for us against Fulham.
Yeah.
Against Villa. It was basically the same challenge. And I said back then, I thought that was a red, just because I think, like I said, I just think the way he goes into it, and I know he hits the ball, and I do completely get that. And I think it could go either way. It really could. I just think the way that his leg ends up making contact with Basuma is why it's been given. I think, but it could have definitely gone either way. If it wasn't given, I don't think Spurs fans would have been like, that should have been a red. But I completely get why, as Liverpool fans, you'd be like, that's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, 100%. I can see why it's given a red. 100%.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah, like Dan said, it's a rule that's the problem, really, isn't it? I don't think they've really helped with how they've shown the referee the challenge. Fuck me, I look very white right now. Not as but you know, the rules. If that is a red card in today's game, then the rule needs to be changed, isn't it? But it's the same thing. Like, then you have to apply context, and it becomes subjective. And we know how referees are with stuff that isn't even fucking subjective, like offsides and stuff that crosses a line. Never mind stuff like this. So it's just going to introduce more wrong decisions. But I don't want to see red cards or challenges like that. If it was my team, I'd be annoyed. And if it was against United, I wouldn't be that bothered if someone gets sent off, because you can see the context behind it. But yeah. Refs are just shit, and that's all it is. The refs are shit, and the rules are shit.
Liverpool didn't end the game with 10 men. They ended with 9 men. Diogo Jota also got sent off. I actually can understand this one a little bit more, just because the actual foul that leads to the sending off is a yellow card, in my opinion. However, it's the first yellow card that I'm baffled by. I remember a few years ago, do you remember David Luiz had the same incident against Wolves?
Yeah, I've seen that today, yeah.
Yeah, the Wolves player was running, and then as he's running, he clips Luiz's knee. He's not even trying to even challenge him, and he gets the penalty and a red card. The same thing happened to Jota, but just for a yellow card. Jonathan, are you thinking that's a red card?
Oh man, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And what I hated so much about this Hooper guy, I guarantee he's officiated plenty of our matches before, but he stuck out like a sore thumb yesterday, obviously. But what I hated so much about him, there was no consistency to any of his decisions whatsoever. I mean, Basuma literally pulled down Jota, and earlier on in the second half, when Jota was going counter-attacking, when it was we had like 3 or 4 players up, it was going to be a good chance of a counter-attack. Didn't give a yellow card then, and then basically as soon as he gets the opportunity to book Jota from. If you look back at the video, literally, there's absolutely nothing in that. Not only does he give the foul, he gives the yellow card to. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Like, I mean, he was just useless. He had absolutely zero control on the game. It's as simple as that. If you're giving the yellow card for that, it's just stupid, isn't it?
Yeah, Udogie should have been given a second yellow as well. If we're talking the rules, I don't know if you saw, he called for the yellow card on a Liverpool player. I can't remember who. And it's like you can't do that. But why are you?
That's never enforced either, is it? That rule
it has been a little bit. A bit
more than last year.
Yeah, but not often. But that's been a rule for donkey's years, hasn't it? And it just never happens.
Yeah, it's a bit annoying. Dale Curtis. I mean, I think it is a red card just because the second challenge is the second yellow. Do you think he's unlucky for the first yellow? Is more the question I'm asking.
Yeah, massively. Like the worst thing about it is Hooper's literally got a clear shot of it and is about 5 yards away. He should be able to see from there if there's any contact or not. And if he isn't, don't book him. Don't get visitor foul. It's just it's beggars belief. Like I know we'll get onto all the other decisions in a bit, but the amount of stuff that went for Spurs yesterday in every single way is absolutely ridiculous. Like I've seen some people talk about like match fixing online, which I don't think it's going to have been. But like if that was a Barcelona game or something in the Champions League 5 years ago, you would have been like UEFA Lona fucking match fixing this, match fixing that. But so much went wrong with everything that it's terrible. Like usually you get, I don't know, once a game week you'll get one bad VAR decision, one bad offside call. But there's been like 5 bad decisions in the space of 90 minutes that have massively affected the game. It's just ridiculous, man.
Curtis, you got an opinion on it?
I actually think both yellows were ridiculously harsh. Even the second one, I think the first one's a joke, like you said. There's absolutely zero intention. It's a complete accident. He's not even making a tackle. What Spurs player was it?
Udogie on it again.
Yeah, it was Udogie. Yeah, his leg just happens to flick Jota, and obviously he goes down and he gets booked. And I think the second one, I know you said it was a yellow, James. I think even that's questionable. I think because I know Jota lunged in a little bit, but I think the contact was very, very minimal. Udogie's then rolling around on the floor, knows exactly what he's doing, knows Jota's just been booked. So I think even that one is crazily harsh. So I think the fact that both of those decisions went against you in the same day, and I know we're about to get onto VAR as well, but I think I think the first yellow was very harsh. I don't even think the second one was a yellow either. So I think, very, very harsh red, I think, for Jota.
I just wanted to say quick, I don't get why those clips are given as yellow cards or red cards or fouls. I don't understand it. Like if a player's running in behind and you're a defender trying to catch up, you're naturally going to try and get to them as quickly as you can. So you're just going to run straight behind them. How's it your fault if their heel clips your knee? I don't get it. I don't get how you're not impeding them. There's no intent there. I don't get how it's a foul, like just in general. And to be honest, like I said yesterday, it didn't even really look like he touched him. It looked more like he clipped himself. He clipped his own heel.
I think there was a tiny deflection, like off Udogie, which then made off Jota, which then made him trip himself, which made it look worse.
I've never got why the fouls anyway. I've seen so many penalties and red cards and shit, like you referenced before with David Luiz given for stuff like that. And I just don't understand what the defender can do. They're meant to just stand there and let them run off and not chase them or do like a fucking course around them or something because they're scared of touching them. I don't really get what they're meant to do there.
Yeah, to me, that seems like just a new way for attackers to buy fouls.
Yeah,
is it similar to like it's like when defenders, when a player like kicks the ball around a defender and then he runs into the defender. It's like where can the defender go? Same situation there. Like they're not giving us fouls all the time, so maybe those ones should stop not being fouls.
Let's talk about some more VAR, shall we? 0-0. Liverpool down to 10 men. Liverpool kind of go on the counter-attack. Salah puts a lovely ball into Luis Diaz. 1-0 Liverpool. Oh, wait. No. The linesman puts his flag up. Fair enough. He thinks he's offside. Goes to VAR. Not a problem. But then what happens? Spurs just take a free kick and they're like, oh, that looked miles onside. What's happened here? It turns out Luis Diaz was clearly onside. And what's happened is the Darren England in Stockley Park said, stick with your decision. That was it. Because he thought that the Diaz goal was given.
It's honestly ridiculous, isn't it?
Is that actually what's happened? Sorry. They thought he gave the goal?
Yeah. That's why they said carry on.
He never said stick with your decision, give the goal. He just said stick with your decision.
Oh, right. I thought they just forgot to review it.
No, the lines were drawn. It was obviously on. He thought the goal was given, so he was like, check complete, carry on, kick off.
Fuck me. Sorry.
That's how bad it is. It sounds ridiculous. It sounds ridiculous.
Like it's crazy. It's crazy. These people are actually getting paid to do these jobs.
Thousands of pounds as well. Like a ridiculous amount of money.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like, I mean, they're getting paid to do this, and it's something as simple as that. They might be called upon once in an entire game of football, and they still can't get it right. I mean, it's bewildering. It really is, boys.
How did they not know that the goal hadn't been given?
This is what I mean. It's fucking
Were they not watching?
communication.
Just
Definitely not watching it. That was it.
Oh yeah, to be honest, look at his monitor, and you could see that they're lining up for a Spurs free kick. Like,
Yeah, they're probably not watching it. Honestly,
Yeah.
it wouldn't surprise me.
I
He's
get
playing
it.
Candy Crush on his phone, mate. That's why.
If like the comms have gone down for like 10 seconds and have not heard him say the ref say possible offside, Diaz, whatever, fair enough. But then, like, do you not ask and make sure and just make sure that you're in the same?
It's just pure like lack of competency in it. And then what will happen is like exactly what's happened. They got taken off the game today, taken off the game tomorrow. They'll probably have a week off, and then they'll be back again, and they'll get paid.
Absolutely.
And then Liverpool will get fined, and then Liverpool will get fined 25 grand for complaining about it.
Yes, I seen that today. I mean,
that statement out where they were like, "Yeah, we'll be in contact with Liverpool and we'll discuss it with them." Yeah, because that's going to. They might as well just not make a statement. Like, what is the point? You know, you're wrong. Just be like, "Yeah, we fucked up." Like, what is the point?
Have Liverpool actually been fined?
Yeah, they might do. Yeah,
it looks like there's an investigation. I think.
So they've literally gone. Damn, boys, we done fucked up. Sorry about that. And then Liverpool have said, yeah, you did fuck up. No, wait.
You can't say that.
Hold on, give us 25 grand for that. Come on.
Don't talk to us like that.
Yeah.
Oh, you put it like that.
Fuck me, it's so funny.
Connor, the Tottenham fan, says he loves VAR. I'm sure you do.
I bet he does. I bet he fucking does.
Go tell his manager to put another fucking shrimp on the barbie, man. I'm gonna start disliking Spurs because they're getting like Newcastle now.
Do you want to talk about Spurs? Should we talk about Spurs? Dill, you said they're overrated. Can you explain that?
They are right. Spurs, a good team. The manager's good. He's got a cool accent. He says "mate" a lot. Brilliant. Cool. But in terms of like the actual football, they don't look amazing, do they? They've struggled in pretty much every game this season, bar Burnley and Bournemouth, which are both in the bottom three, I think, correct at the time of recording. Man United have been poor, and he scraped past us, and we should have had a penalty and probably should have won the game on the balance of the chances we created. They needed 2 injury time goals to beat Sheffield United at home, who are, I think, rock bottom of the Premier League now. They needed a last-minute Matip own goal to beat 9-man Liverpool, and for 80 minutes, 10-man Liverpool at home. Against Arsenal, 20-minute spell, probably between 40 and 60 minutes, where they look really good. But beyond that, Arsenal have dominated and probably deserved to win the game. I just think they're a good team with good players, and they've got great attacking players, like Son's come back into his own. Kulusevski looks good. Even Richarlison looks good at times as well. The midfield looks a lot better. But they're not this, like, powerhouse like everyone's saying they are. Like they're a shoe-in for top 4, or they're going to challenge City, Arsenal, Liverpool, whoever's up there at the top of the season, at the end of the season. They're just a good team, and just come in and created a better kind of mentality around the place, and are a lot happier, and they're a lot more harmonious. But like beyond that, like I don't watch Spurs and think, fuck me, and just got them playing great football. They've got some good forwards. They're pretty open defensively. All the players are getting massively overrated. Like people are saying Udogie is the best left back in the Premier League. When he was shit against Saka and was shit against Salah, people just see what they want to see and just go off stats all the time. They're just becoming one of these teams. And I've got no hate for Spurs. They've never challenged United for anything in my lifetime, or probably even before that ever, to be honest. But it annoys when you see people overhyping teams, because I guarantee if we won 15 points now and we'd scraped a lot of these games, we've lost by 1 goal and we'd won them, everyone would be saying the same thing about United. Like they don't convince me. Do you know? That's just what I don't understand. Everyone's like, Ange's got them playing so well. Ange this, Ange that. Look at that. Like they're just a decent team who had a decent run of games. Like
I think the issue is that Spurs have been so average for so long. Now suddenly they're a bit better than average. Everyone's going, fucking hell, Spurs.
Well, I do get that, because they've been that bad. It is hard to get them.
They've definitely improved under.
But yeah, it's not like they're like wilder up here. Yeah, that's what
they've definitely improved. But like I said, because they've won a trophy in donkey's years and they've underachieved when Kane was there, they did underachieve. However, they're playing a bit better. They're now not like Villa have played better than Spurs this year, in my opinion. And don't get me wrong, Villa are getting some hype, and they are, because they're playing very well under Unai. But I just think that if Spurs had actually been playing a lot better football, then we'd be sat here bigger. And you know what? Spurs have been decent. They've been good. But now Spurs fans have got this thing in their head about how they're going to be a shoe, like you said, a shoe in for top 4. And I mean, the talk of them challenging City and Arsenal and Liverpool it's honestly a shambles. Like they're nowhere near that, nowhere near it.
No. Like I expected. Sorry, dude. I expected so much more of them yesterday. I thought they were poor. I honestly thought they were poor. I was kind of saying before the game, I was kind of thinking to myself, oh, do you know what? This could be really, really difficult. I'd nearly take a point here. And I know for a fact after watching that 90 minutes, if we had 11 men on the pitch, that would have been another 3-1, if not 4-1 or something like that. I guarantee when they come to Anfield later on in the season that we'll beat them easily. They were poor yesterday, apart from maybe 2 5-10-minute periods in the game. They were poor. And if you can't really perform or look that good against 10 men and 9 men, you are not a very good side. Sorry.
Yeah, I think a lot of Spurs fans do admit that was probably their worst performance of the season, I will say. Jonathan, what are your thoughts on Liverpool? Because as bad as Spurs were, Liverpool especially, with the one man less, they actually look very good. And look, there's something I've been saying. I've been on record of saying this. That I thought Van Dijk was washed personally. Like, I'm not a very reactionary person, as these guys know, but I genuinely thought he was. However, my opinion might be changing now. Do you think he's not back to his best, let's say, but he's up there to what he was? I think
James he's still able to he's still well able to show how good he is. He's definitely lost an extra, like that yard that he had a few years ago, that extra yard he had a few years ago or something like that. He's not as good as that, but he has so much quality, and the way he defends doesn't almost require that much stamina or that much of his legs in terms of he's not running all over the pitch for 90 minutes. He's not running from side to side or whatever. He kind of stays in the same position, jockeys the forward, and kind of just sees him out over the line. But no, I think Van Dijk is still very good. I don't think he's as good as he used to be. I mean, he played against Ireland there a couple of weeks ago in the Aviva in a qualifier. And that night he didn't look great, and he was up against Adam Ida, who is not a very good footballer. I think Van Dijk almost gets too comfortable. He still gets too comfortable, and it's kind of like, and James, like you as a Liverpool fan and everybody else, even rival fans, everybody would know, yes, Van Dijk, yes, Virgil, you could be like that a few years ago, but you can't do that now. You can't do that now. And I almost feel like when he gets too comfortable, he gets complacent, and that's where he makes his mistake. His few mistakes anyway. But no, he's still very, very good centre half. He's still got another couple of years anyway in him. Absolutely no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I just wanted to say quickly, I have been impressed by Liverpool on the whole. Like I am genuinely surprised. Obviously, United have been shit, so it's not much.
Really shit.
Cheers, mate.
Championship next season.
Yeah. United have been shite, but like how good Liverpool have looked, I'm pleasantly surprised. Like Endo hasn't even started with a lot of the games, which is what I thought would bring you a bit more stability in midfield. Gomez is tucking in at the minute, and I'm just really shocked by how good he's looked, to be honest. Like you Arsenal and City are obviously like the best 3 teams in the league right now, which if last season you would ask me that at the start of this season, I never would have put you guys in the top 3. I would have said you're probably scraping battle for top 4 or 5. So I just want to say like an actual credit to you to how good you have been, because I'm really surprised by it. With it, like especially the midfielders you brought in, with them being a bit more attacking minded. Sober's line, obviously McAllister, you can play as a 6, but we know he's not a 6. It's been surprisingly good how you still dominated games and finish a lot of your chances. Like, don't get me wrong, you're not as good as you used to be, and a lot of it does come down to like Salah and Núñez and Jota and that being quite clinical. But I'm still really surprised by how well you are doing this season.
Do you still hate Scousers though?
Oh yeah, fucking course I do. I hate Scousers until the.
I was just double checking.
Yeah, you have to get me being a cunt into a clip, don't you?
Yeah.
I'll hate him until my last.
I like that's well said. I couldn't agree more. I kind of focus a lot of what I said there on Van Dijk, but no, quickly in terms of Liverpool, like I'm absolutely delighted. It's funny because waking up this morning thinking about that game yesterday, I almost know we're even more back, even though we lost. Do you know what I mean? It's just the grit, the determination, the never kind of give up attitude you seen there yesterday. just the shift that every single player put in reminded me of prime Liverpool, shall I say, a few years ago. So no, I'm feeling great about this season. And Dylan, as you mentioned, Szoboszlai, McAllister, our signings look great too. You know, I'm buzzing. Yeah.
Imagine these signings working.
Must be nice to have signings that actually work. Yeah, what that feels like, to be fair.
Curtis, mate, give your team 10 years, they might be all right by then.
Yeah.
Might be the right age.
All these 12-year-old Brazilians just signing,
yeah. Like half our team haven't hit puberty yet, so.
I mean, look, we've been slandering Spurs quite a bit, but I do want to say that first goal was very nice.
Yeah,
it was a good goal. The pass from Maddison, the cross from Richarlison, the nice finish from Son. I do want to get that in there. Let's move on from Liverpool, Tottenham, because we've spoken quite a bit about them too. Glory, Man United.
Vamos.
Not so much glory, is there, Dill?
No, mate, I do shows most weeks, as you know, and you two boys are usually on here. How many times have I said this season? I'm going to say the exact same thing that I've said for the past fucking 2
Get ready to clip it.
Like, genuinely, I have, though, haven't I? Like, it's the same shit. I've got no idea what we're doing. We're losing 1-0 to Palace at home. They didn't create another chance the entire game. They've literally scored a screamer from 20 yards of Joachim Anderson on the half volley, and we've gone, well, only 70 minutes left. Why fucking bother? Just roll over and just let them fucking win.
Like, that first 2 sentences you said there, can you get it on a T-shirt or something? Because I think that's...
What was it?
The first 20 minutes, we've got a clue what we're doing, we've got no idea, no game plan, and then we lose. That should be on a T-shirt, mate. That's merch.
Legit. So, literally every game. Bayern, Brighton, this game as well. 20 minutes, first 20 minutes, we look like we could challenge for the title, how good we're playing and how many chances we're making. And then we have Rashford make a bad decision, someone misses a chance, whatever, and then they have one attack and they score and we just throw the towel in. And it's so unlike us, because even last season, obviously more so under Ollie, we had that mentality with the same kind of core of players of like Rashford and Bruno and stuff like that and Varane to come back and win those games. And it doesn't look like we've got that anymore. It looks like we just think, oh, well, let's fucking leave it. Like, none of them look arsed. We can't create a chance for anything. Like, I think our XG yesterday was 1.7 and people will go, well, you should have scored a goal or two. But we didn't create one good chance.
Yeah,
Højlund had a half-decent chance.
When he hit it with his studs, and that was 10 minutes in, lad. You know, it's like, we only have a highish XG because we're having so many shots from distance and this and that. Like, we don't actually create anything. We've got all these players on the pitch, like, Casemiro can, he's look shit, but he can create chances and break lines at times. We've got Bruno there. We've got Mount, which is he's not the creative type, but we brought Eriksen on. We brought Martial on. We've got Garnacho, Pellistri, Rashford, Højlund. How are we not creating any chances? And we signed this striker in Højlund who is great at getting into the box, running off his man on the last shoulder, near post runs, far post runs, cutbacks, all this shit. And we're not putting crosses in for him. The only person who tried yesterday was Delo, and he put 1 or 2 in, and we nearly scored from them. But beyond that, and everyone's like, oh, well, it's going to take them time to get used to it. Just say to your fullbacks, lads, put a fucking cross in then.
Boys.
Yeah, say to Pellistri, stand your man up, go to the byline and put a fucking cross in. Say to Rashford, do the same thing. He's got a decent left foot. He can do that. I just don't get where we're going. Like with Chelsea and Poch, right? Chelsea, results-wise and goals-wise, are worse than us at the minute, but I can see what they're trying to do. Ten Hag's been here for over a year, and I still don't get what the idea is. Like, the start of the season, first couple of games, Ten Hag was like, we're going to be a transition team. We're going to play in transition, hit teams on the break, Rashford, Højlund, Antony, whatever, Garnacho, quick, pacey players, Bruno with the outballs, whatever, great. Makes sense. I'm not really bothered about how we play if we win. And now we've gone to yesterday playing a 3-2-5. Like, what are we doing? We played a diamond against Brighton and Bayern. Then we played a 3-2-5 yesterday with like Casemiro and Amrabat moving positions and inverting, which I thought was quite nice to see. But then why are we doing that if we're playing players purely because they're good on transition to break teams down and get past the high line? Like, I don't understand. We change our tactics every game. The subs are shit. His man management, with a lot of the things has been good, but it looks poor because the players don't look like they're fighting for him. I don't actually get what he's good at this point, other than, he was under Pep at Bayern Munich and he's bald and wears a suit. Like, I don't get it. I'm not, as I said, I'm not saying Ten Hag, I'll give it time. I know I said it when I was pissed after the game at Brighton the other week, but I was drunk and I was there and I saw it with my own eyes. So I'm gonna allow myself that. But I just don't get what, I just keep saying it. I don't get what we're doing. Like, you can watch a full 90 minutes of United and we can't create a single good chance. Like, every team does that. Do you know what I mean? Every Premier League team usually creates one chance in 90 minutes, no matter who you are. And we're meant to be one of the best in the league that are trying to get towards City and Arsenal. And we look like fucking mid-table at the minute, and that's where we are, and rightly so.
It's quite ironic how Delo was the only one who tried, and it deflected off him for their goal. Typical, innit?
I know. I do like Delo though. He did actually try. He was getting down the wing a lot, coming in and coming out. He did put a few crosses in. He did the same against Burnley as well. Like, I do like Delo. He always tries, and he's not the best defender ever. But I really don't know.
I think you touched on it there, Joe. I know you mentioned us, but I think the reason why I would be more concerned if I was a United fan is because of your lack of chances. Like we can't score.
That's
we can't
what I'm
finish,
saying. Like, you
but
at least
we actually,
create.
at least we create stuff. Our strikers I think it's been having a shit time in front of goal, but at least we're kind of creating things. Like you said with United, you just really struggle to see what he's telling them to do and what they're actually doing. Is it a case of the players not reacting to what he says and not doing what he says, or is he just really not telling them to do these things? Like, something's definitely wrong. Something's definitely wrong.
Jonathan, have you got an opinion on Man United? I know you're obviously happy with how they're performing right now.
Yeah, no, obviously I'm delighted, but like I kind of expected United this season to be kind of in City, Liverpool, Arsenal's shadow. But I kind of still thought they'd be maybe. I think I predicted them to finish fourth, but
I thought we'd be nailed on for top 4.
Yeah, like I wouldn't from what I thought. I didn't think nailed on, but I thought, yeah, you're better than Newcastle. You're better than Spurs. You get fourth. But no, I couldn't agree more. Like, I love hearing what Dill says there. How we're 7 games into the season and United already.
We're 7 points off you in
I know,
and we've got a -4 goal difference. -4.
And
if we did goals in 7 games,
and if it wasn't those awful decisions yesterday, it would have been more as well. But no, I couldn't agree more with what Dylan said. Even as a Liverpool fan who's obviously absolutely loving it, when you watch United, you don't really see what they're trying to do. The fact is, I think, and I said it yesterday, United were lucky last season. I think United just took advantage of a season where pretty much everybody was shit apart from City and Arsenal. This season, that's not the case. Ourselves are back. And the fact is that if that's going to be Ten Hag's best season, which was last season, it's he's not very good, is he? And you can't get worse. You can't get worse the season afterwards. You know what I mean? Like, granted, if Ten Hag was to maintain what he did last season, this season, but it's pretty clear that they're worse, and they don't have goal scorers. And I think that's what's in common between Chelsea and United, between Curtis and Dylan. You don't have enough goal scorers. I mean, United got lucky last season. Rashford had a big purple patch season. Apart from him, who's your other goal scorer? It's the same with Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? There's not enough goal scorers in those teams. To put that simply, but that's one of loads of problems.
Yeah, with the money, I was just going to say, with the money we've spent, like, we did it well last season. We weren't amazing how we played wise, but we spent 200 million in the summer. We brought in a proper number 9, another midfielder to replace Eriksen, because our main problem with Eriksen last season was his lack of legs in like transition and tracking back. So they're like 2 massive positions we've improved. De Gea's gone, and we've got a decent keeper in. We should be fucking miles better. We should. I don't get how we've gone backwards after improving the team further. And I get signings take a bit of time to bed in, but if we were sat on so look at the table. If we were sat on 13 points or something like that, I'd be all right with that. Not 9. We've lost 4 games and we've won. It's not good enough.
There are 2 players I want to focus on for United. Well, kind of 3, I suppose. Curtis with Marcus Rashford.
Yeah.
What would you do with him? Like, because I feel like I don't want to call him a form player because he's been so good for so long. There is in patches though. It feels harsh to call him a form player. He kind of is at the same, as in like when he's not I suppose what I'm trying to say is when he's not great, he's really poor.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Before you said that, I was going to say obviously he's been playing on the left, which I think is his better position. He's not a 9. He's definitely not a striker through the middle. He's one of those players when he's playing well, you would love to have him in your team, and he's unplayable. He's quick. He's great on the ball. He's a great finisher. Like we saw last year, like Jonathan said, he had a really good purple patch. Everything he touched basically post World Cup was a goal. Like, he was really, really good. But then when he's bad, he's really bad. His decision making goes to pot. He technically looks sloppy, looks lazy. He just like you said, he just looks like when his confidence is down and the team are playing badly, he's such a hindrance to the team. And I think, like you said, I think when he's very good, he's very good. But I think it's the same but opposite. When he's very bad, he's very bad.
Yeah, Jonathan, do you actually? I'm going to give a bit of a comparison here. It reminds me a little bit of Luis Diaz in that sense.
Oh, Diaz is clear.
Yeah,
Oh, fuck
yeah.
off. Okay.
He is. He is.
I feel like Diaz. I feel like
Diaz
Diaz when he's not on it. My issue with Luis Diaz, he's very indecisive. He always wants to beat a man. It's kind of like, mate, there's a good pass on here.
Yeah,
but obviously,
sure.
when he wants to come clutch. I mean, he scored a goal yesterday. It wasn't given, but whatever. He played quite well yesterday. But if he plays bad, you kind of notice it. I mean, against West Ham, I thought he was pretty poor, and he was our worst player by a country mile, I thought. I don't know if you agree with that. Would you kind of agree with that comparison?
Like I see where you're coming from. Absolutely. I think Diaz's average performance is a lot better than Rashford's.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think Luis Diaz. I'm sorry, but Dill, I know you disagree with it, but I think Luis Diaz is a far better footballer. Like a far better footballer. I just do. I mean, as I said, I think Luis Diaz. If Luis Diaz was to consistently add goals to his game, if he was
to do one of the things that a winger in your system should do, for us to do one.
Wait, Diaz. Like the thing is about Diaz, if you look at what he did yesterday, obviously it was a great finish. A lot of the time in front of goal, his final product isn't great. If he could improve that, if he could add like 20 goals a season to his game, if he could improve his finishing, a bit like Nunez last season, Luis Diaz could be one of the best wingers in the world. He technically is so good. As you say, James, sometimes he tries to take on a man when he shouldn't, but he's such a good player. He's an absolutely fantastic footballer. He's got everything a winger would want. But no, I hear what you're saying, but I disagree. And yeah, I do think he's a far better footballer than Rashford.
Fair enough. Dale, I'm going to go to him.
Go on, Dill.
I'm not gonna. I can't be asked arguing about it, man.
No, I want to move on from that. I want to move on.
Oh
from that. I want to talk
I
about.
don't want to slander my boy anymore. I love Marcus, man.
I want to talk about one or two players. I'm going to start with Victor Lindelof, who is not very good at the moment, and should he be replaced by Harry Maguire whilst Varane's out?
Yes, 100%.
Martinez, yeah.
Yes, 100% he should, because Maguire's a better defender. He's better on the ball. He's braver on the ball. He's better positionally. He's better in the air. The only thing that Lindelof has over Maguire is his speed, and he's not quick anyway. What's the point? He's just an absolute. I said it in my video. He's just a bitch. He's an absolute pussy, man. He always has been. If you watch him, he never. Say a defender's running at him. Do you know, like when you're jockeying on FIFA because you're scared if you're going for a tackle, they're going to dribble around you, put it through your legs. That's how he plays football in real life in the Premier League. Like he never makes a challenge. He's always there with his arms behind his back, showing his side like that. He doesn't put a tackle in. He's shit in the air. He got bodied by Mateta a couple of times on the counter attack yesterday. He's just. It was his man for the goal as well, I believe. He didn't follow him out as well when Anderson scored. He's just a shit defender. And I used to quite like him. His missus is really fit, so I'll give him that. She's unreal. But it's just...
She is a rocket.
Yeah, she is. He's just not good, man. He can't do anything that a defender can do. And I used to be in the Lindelof, like, not in camp, but he was all right. But, he gets rated a lot for his passing. You watch him in a game, the only time you ever see him do anything good is when he'll hit the one diag over to Rashford every 180 minutes and we'll get a goal. That's literally it, which any defender can do if they get lucky enough and keep trying it enough. Yeah, it's just not good enough, man. And this is a prime example of why we needed to bring a centre-back in the summer transfer window and we didn't. You know, a couple of injuries to Martinez, who is...
Johnny Evans.
Yeah.
Hey, he scored against Burnley.
Yeah, he brought him in, mate.
Assisted,
yeah.
Sorry.
So, yeah, like Martinez is quite injury prone now, it seems. Varane was injury prone and we knew that before we signed him. Ten Hag has no intention of giving Maguire a chance. So you've got one proper centre-back who can play every week, and that's Lindelof if the other two are injured. What are we doing? Yeah, what are we doing, man?
Is there anything else you want to talk about in regards to United Palace?
Not really, no, because it just does my head in, mate. Like I said, if it was different, if something different had happened or there was a decision like in your guys' game, fine. But I come on here every week and make videos about it once or twice a week, and it's the same shit. and a different. It's like picking this fucking moon thing I've just bought from B&M up, just smacking your head against it over and over again. That's all it is. That's all it is. Because nothing changes. It's the same issues every week. It's fucking wank. We've got Galatasaray at home on Tuesday, have we? So we'll see then. I think we've got Brentford at home before the international break. If we don't win both of them, I'm going to be really upset because it's the worst because we did it in last month in September. It's so bad going into the international break off the back of a bad run. It's so heartbreaking because there's nothing you can do to rectify it. You let me get to see the players talking about it. I don't care about England qualifier wise anyway, so it's not even like that brings me any joy. So we need a win. If we don't beat Galatasaray at home, we're probably not going to get out of the group. Let's be real. We need to win every home game pretty much. Or we need to win against them and Copenhagen, certainly. And Brentford don't look the best at the minute. They drew 1-1 against a 10-man today. But you know what, boys? Fuck it. Emblemo hat-trick or something on Saturday for my FPL at least.
We will be there.
We stay winning. I'm going to triple captain the fucker.
They're usually that team, though. They up their game. They play better when depending on the opposition, don't they? I mean, they lost to what was it, Everton last weekend. I mean, that's like just typical Brentford against the teams that they should be. They end up losing, but against your Liverpools, your Cities, Chelsea, United, whatever, they end up like pulling out a result.
Yeah. No.
Speaking of teams who should be losing, let's talk about Chelsea. Chelsea versus Fulham tomorrow. Curtis, it's gonna be a quick one. Have you got any predictions on the game? Is there anything you want to talk about?
James, we're going to win, all right? This is the game where Paul Merson said that someone's going to get stuffed by Chelsea soon, and it's going to be Fulham. Fuck Fulham. We are the biggest team on the Thames. They are just bin dippers. And I think we actually are going to score some goals.
I don't think anyone from Fulham has been called a bin dipper before.
No, the most Tory area of London, and they're the bin dippers. By the way, you need to beat. By the way, you need to beat them 5-0 to overtake them in the league table. I'll believe that.
hey, mate, I'll take a 1-0 off Sterling's massive blunder. That's what I'll take tomorrow because I think we will win. I actually do. I think recently, don't get wrong, we haven't been playing very well. I've said this every week, boys. Same as Dill. I say the same shit, different week. We've been playing okay. The chances are coming. If we can just score a couple of goals, it would be really, really nice. I'd have a lovely chilled Monday. And yeah, it'd be nice to win. I think we actually will get a result tomorrow. I've got a good feeling.
I was wrong, by the way. You do just need to win. I got the goal difference mixed up. Sorry, mate.
Yes, get up there.
Can't even count.
If you win, you leapfrog Fulham and Nottingham Forest into 11th, and you're just behind us, mate. So you keep dreaming, man.
We're on the up, boy. We're on the up.
Yeah. Keep dreaming of that Intertoto Cup, boys.
Yeah,
I'm all for it.
Right, boys. Anything else you want to talk about?
Not really, mate. I'm going to go to a pub quiz and have a few beers and forget about my life for a bit.
Good lad. Good lad. Curtis, Dill, thanks for joining. Jonathan, a special thanks for joining. It's been an absolute privilege. I'll see you guys later. Thank you, everyone, for watching.